Hi, my name is Jakub and I'm Application Engineer at Sinterit. Did you know that a lot of our customers use our devices for prototyping on daily basis? Today I'm talking with Daniel Aarts from Innoseal, who will share his experience in this field. Hello, Daniel. Thank you for meeting me. Maybe you can say something about yourself.
Morning, and thank you very much for having me. I am Daniel Aarts, Technical Director at Innoseal. We're a company specialized in tapes and tools. One of our most famous products is a bag closing system that you've probably seen at pretty much any bakery in the world. It's a seal made with tape and paper, and this combination makes a closure that's easy to open. This is made by us in the Netherlands, patented, and supplied in 120 different countries.
Daniel, I know you are a happy user of Lisa X, and I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask you about your experience.
Absolutely. We've had the Lisa X now for a little bit over a year. So go ahead, and what do you want to know?
What was the biggest surprise during the first months of working with Lisa X?
The biggest surprise was really the ease of use. It's a printer that anyone that can read can work with it. The display tells you exactly what needs to be done step by step. And furthermore, what really surprised me was that each print is successful, something I'm not used to at all with my experience in FDM printing.
So how would you rate the day-to-day operation of the printer? What makes your work easier?
If I had to give it a number as a rating, I would give it a 9. It's a carefree handling of the printer. It lets me focus my time on important things because I know that the Lisa X doesn't need my attention all day. It gives me extra room to do things that are important.
Maybe let's switch the topic a bit. So what's your approach to prototyping and how it changed since implementing the Lisa X?
Prototyping has seen an increase in speed and efficiency within our company. It's allowing us to trial wild ideas and try to think outside the box. No longer do we have to design for injection molding or milling and lathing in the test phase. We're able to focus really and design the parts that need to be made. And SLS really gives us this freedom with high quality parts with rigidity and the mechanical properties very comparable to injection molding. And yes, this really gives us the freedom to make the best solution and not constantly balance pros and cons that you would have with other possibilities.
How it looks in your day-to-day operation? So you are daily iterating your designs?
No, design iterations don't come daily. We receive requests from customers that they would like to see something. Usually that initiates a design phase within our company. We also have our own development where we design machines trying to play in on requests that haven't been stated yet. These things we'll work on with the 3D printer, the SLS mainly. And it's not a daily task, but I think we try to minimize it to 2 prints, 3 prints a month, and increase the build volume, make it a little bit more efficient, and not waste time with the post-processing and moving people around through production to get them in the right place.
So basically, combining all the tasks you have to print to make the most out of every build.
Correct, absolutely. That's where the Sinterit software also helps quite a bit, allowing to add things to the build volume. And later on, when we pull them out of the printer, I can see exactly which part was placed where. It's exactly as it was in the software. Makes it very easy to place.
So the next question, what do you say to a company considering purchasing its first SLS printer?
If you're considering purchasing your first SLS printer, I would really look at first the constraints you have with other methods of 3D printing. SLS is a little bit more costly in printing and running the printer as it would be an FDM printer. SLA, I don't have any knowledge about, so really keeping it to FDM. FDM has its limitations, which you don't have with SLS. If you really run into the limitations and an SLS printer is within budget, I would absolutely go for it. However, keep in mind that once you do have an SLS printer, you'll use it more than you expect to use it prior to your purchase.
Okay, so what characteristic of SLS compared to FDM, what feature, what change in the approach made the most difference for you?
The biggest difference between the SLS and FDM printer, which made a difference for me, is I do not have to look at supports anymore. I don't need to process away supports. The mechanical properties in the X, Y, and Z axis are pretty homogenic in an SLS printer, where FDM, you need to know where the layer lines are going to be. You need to know what the weakness is going to be. The material properties as itself, if you compare a carbon fiber nylon with a carbon fiber nylon, an SLS printer is going to have much more rigidity and much more strength to it due to the fibers being cast in a more rigid way than with an FDM printer, where you just put two layers together and the thermoplastic is supposed to hold it together.
For the final question, to wrap things up, what are Innoseal's future plans? What new opportunities do you see in SLS printing as the industry evolves? And do you think our Lisa X can support these plans?
It's a very long question. I could give you a very, very long answer on that. But just to keep it short, the world is changing rapidly day by day. And it seems that some of our customers, and I think everybody would see that, expect suppliers to be able to generate solutions prior to a problem is even being identified. That's how people really want the turnaround to be. People want everything quick. To manage this and to stay ahead of the competition, we at Innoseal believe it's important to stay flexible. New materials are being generated. This creates opportunities. Design freedoms in SLS create opportunities. And our plan is to leverage these opportunities and create solutions to problems as soon as they become identified. And making sure to stay flexible and keeping in mind that time is a valuable asset and it should never be wasted.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. You really touched a lot of things in this answer. So again, Daniel, it was a true pleasure to have you here today. Thank you for taking your time for this interview. Thank you for sharing your experience and your application and approach for 3D printing. And I hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been great to talk about this, and I look forward to having more contact with you in the future. Thank you very much.
If you would like to learn more about Daniel's application, feel free to check out case study section on our website at sinterit.com.